Hello and welcome to my part two of how to win friends and influence them. Before we start, what I'd like to do really is just for you to make sure that you've actually watched the first video, part one, because if you go straight onto part two, the chances are you may not really understand what I'm actually telling you. So please, if you haven't done so already, stop this video now and go to part one. That way then when you do come to part two, you'll get a better understanding of what I'm actually talking about. Rapport, just to sort of recap what we said in the first video, rapport really is power. Rapport is about influence. Master influencers of all time, like master politicians, global leaders, religious leaders, legends of the world, people like that, they have this unique ability in how to influence people and how to build rapport with people, whether that's just one-on-one with somebody or with a mass group of people. So rapport really is really powerful. It's great in sales, it's great in negotiation or in business, and if you're an educator or a mentor, how valuable is it to you that you're able to successfully and positively influence people? Now, before in the part one, we talked about conscious rapport and unconscious rapport. Conscious rapport is when people have got something in common consciously. Maybe they share the same thoughts or have the same beliefs. Maybe they've been to the same university, or maybe that they have the same problems. And often not, what you'll find is those people will be alike, therefore they will like each other. But that's conscious rapport. What we're talking about here is a deeper issue, is that how do you build rapport unconsciously to the other person so that it's totally out of their awareness? Because the more it is out of their awareness, the more powerful it is. Rapport for me is certainly made a huge difference, whether that's in business or whether that's with clients. So rapport can seriously influence people. That's one thing you will guarantee with that. Rapport also increases the chances of positive outcomes. So what would it be worth to you, whether you're in business, health, education, what would it be worth to you if you could just build rapport randomly with people at any given time? And what would it be worth to you if the response you got was extremely positive? Well, that's basically down to rapport. Now, when salespeople can't sell, or when people in business can't do business with other people, there's a high probability that you need to build more rapport with a person. Resistance in a person is just a sign of lack of rapport. So you need to build rapport to enable to have that influence and have that positive outcome you want yourself. But the question I get asked a lot of the time is, how do you know when you're building rapport with somebody? How do you know if that person is actually in rapport with you? Well, really, there's actually three ways you would know if you are in rapport with that person and they're in rapport with you. And the first one is where you get that feeling inside yourself. It's the intuition, that feeling that when you're looking at the person across from you, you kind of know inside yourself that you're in rapport with people. The second one I would say is when when you're looking at somebody and you observe their body language, you'll see a shift in their physiology. You'll see something there, or an acceptance of what you're telling them. They'll accept it, and there's just that physiological change, that shift. Whether that's a colour change in the face, whether that's the nodding of the head, the analog movements, etc., etc. I did a video about that previously, about how you observe people and body language. So with your new skills with that, you will know, and you will be able to know if you and the other person is in rapport. The third one is that what happens is that they actually start to match and mirror yourself. And it's highly probable that they don't know that they're doing that and they're not doing that consciously. So for example, if you're in a meeting and you're just sat casually with your arm on the chair, what you'll find is if that person matches you by doing the same thing or mirrors you, there's a high probability that he or she is in rapport with you. So that's another key major indicator as to how you know that that person's in rapport with you. They basically start to build rapport and they start to match and mirror yourself. And finally, what I really want to say to you is that because rapport is really powerful and it's the ability to influence people, what I want to say to you, and I take this very, very seriously, is that I'm against any manipulation or any negative manipulation of any sort. Rapport is so powerful and you have the ability to influence people. Therefore, I really urge you to use this sparingly and where it's a win-win situation for everybody. So please bear that in mind. And also be mindful that when you're building rapport, when you're matching and mirroring a person, that you're not going crazy with it. For example, when you're matching a physiology, when you're matching somebody else and they're gesturing like this, it's important to let them finish and do it sparingly like this rather than expansively, because as I mentioned in video 1, it really does become obvious, and your job is to do this out of their awareness, because that's when the results really work. So be really mindful of that, and as I say, use it sparingly. Please do it where it's ethical and moral, because influencing people is a really big thing, and I say practice it. People often say to me, but John, I can't possibly do that because people are going to know, and I'm going to get embarrassed. Well, I promise you that they won't notice this if you do exactly what I've mentioned to you. Do it sparingly and slowly, rather than being really alert about it. So really do that. Practice. Watch people. I do it many times when I'm with groups of people, and you'll find someone there and someone there talking, and you'll watch them, and they will match and mirror each other. I noticed it on at the weekend with 2 people, which was really interesting, and they were great friends. So watch people do that as well. Be very mindful of it. Be very mindful of it, and also be very highly conscientious of you doing rapport. And that's important because I've taught many people how to build rapport. The ones what are conscious of it, the ones what apply it consciously, get the best results. A lot of the time, people actually forget. They know they have the knowledge, but they forget to do it. I've had that many times, and it's quite common. So whatever you do now, when you've learned rapport, watch the videos over and over and over. Watch them, learn, and practice. Do it subtly. Do it in a very, very stealth way. And I promise you'll get good at it. And then you will get that positive, that synergy between people. And that's ultimately what we're really wanting to do. So thank you for watching part 1 and part 2. If you've got any comments, if you've got any questions or anything like that, just write them down and comment below. Next week I'm going to be doing, it's more of a deeper issue, and it's how fear works and how we can manage fear and how it affects people individually and globally. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I look forward to being on your screen again and being able to hopefully teach you many things over the next coming months. Thank you. Bye-bye.